here we are in the third phase of design thinking, that is ideate. We started with the empathize phase, where we found our ideal user, and then we moved to the second phase of design thinking, that is define, where we define a good problem statement. I would like to start this new module with a consideration, and it is that most of the people are not creative. When we are children, we are very creative. We can play with some dolls or toys and imagine thousands of new stories. Children can imagine stories only with a cardboard tube, pretending it's a telescope and they are pirates. Then we become adults and we are not creative anymore. I'm not talking about artists, musicians, or painters. They are very creative, but most of the people are not. With design thinking, we aim to find creative new ideas. In order to do it, there are two main phases that are called divergent and convergent phases. The divergent is the phase where nothing is wrong, and it is used to generate as many new ideas as you can to explore possibilities. The convergent is the phase where you take all the ideas that come from the divergent phase and start to analyze it in order to get closer to the potential solution. As we said, in the divergent phase, you have to find a lot of possible ideas. Some could be hilarious, some could be very bad based on your perspective. But in this phase, nothing is wrong. Every idea can be useful to generate creativity and help someone else to generate new ideas. The best way to generate new ideas is to have a brainstorming session. But be careful, because in order to benefit from this brainstorming session, you need to set some rules and you cannot avoid them. It is important for you and your team to set an alarm, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever. Once the alarm rings, the brainstorming is over, no matter what. Then you have to start with the problem statement that you defined before and stay focused on the topic. It is easy to take different directions during brainstorming session, especially when you are trying to be open-minded to come up with new ideas. Focus is essential, otherwise the process can become confusing. Defer judgment or criticism, including non-verbal, because the brainstorming session is not the time to argue other members' idea. Judgment comes later, so rather than blocking an idea, you and your other team's member are encouraged to come up with your own ideas that sprout off from those provided by the other members of your team. Also, be careful with your facial expressions. Encourage weird, wacky, and wild ideas. Free thinking may produce some ideas that are wide off the mark, but brainstorming is about drawing up as many ideas as possible. Each member should try to encourage other members and create an environment in which they feel comfortable verbalizing their ideas. Aim for quantity, because brainstorming is not about quality, but is about quantity. Build on each other's idea. You can build the idea based on other members' idea. This will probably become more refined and focused on the central issue. Be visual. Brainstorming is not about discussing the idea. It's about generating new ones. Write down your ideas on a post-it, explain it in 10 seconds, and put it on a wall so everyone can see it. One conversation at a time. If there is a lot of noise, or you can't concentrate, you will not be able to focus on your idea. In the divergent phase, you have a lot of possible ideas. There is a tool that is called the 4-category method that helps you to divide ideas in 4 abstract clusters that are the most rational, most delightful, darling, and the long shot. This method ensures that you cover more ground and include different types of ideas.
Another way to divide ideas in clusters in order to have a more clear situation to be discussed is the 2-on-2 method. The 2-on-2 method is a matrix that consists in a chart where the line that goes from the below to the above, in this case, is the value line. And the line that goes from the left to right is, again in this case, the trouble line. You can put in this matrix all the problems you found in the divergent phase. This matrix forces you to define and identify values for each of your problems so that you can compare them with the same parameters. Doing so, you can quickly determine which ideas should be pursued and which should be rejected. The good thing about this matrix is that it can be highly customized based on your team needs. You can, for example, change the attributes of the two axes or add other levels in addition to the two already present in the example, low and high. For example, you can change the value line in the expensive line, where above there will be the cheapest idea, and below there will be the really expensive ones, probably unaffordable. And again, you can replace the trouble line with the quick to create line, where on the left there will be the slowest idea to create, and on the right the faster. In this case, in the top right of the chart, you will find the quickest and cheapest idea. You can use many 2-on-2 metrics because, as it could be in this case, the cheapest and the most affordable idea could not generate any value for the user. For this reason, you and your team have to pay a lot of attention on which values you add in the chart. Otherwise, this could put you in a wrong direction. And again, you have to be sure that every member of the team understands the values of the chart. For example, quick to create is a different value than easy to create. Easy to create means that it's not technically difficult to implement, but not necessarily this means that it is also a quick implementation.
Now you have found a lot of ideas in the divergent phase and clusterized them with the 4-category method. But the point here is that you have to focus on a single idea and work on that. A very easy but also very useful way to choose the final idea is to have a dot voting section. The dot voting is a simple idea but helps the team to find the best idea to work on very quickly. Here's the rules. 1 different colored marker for each. 4 votes for every team's member. Every team's member puts a dot with his marker on the side of the 4 ideas he thinks are the best. You cannot vote twice an idea.